There's a one-of-a-kind event that's coming this Thursday, a documentary world premiere, locally produced, in fact, local everything about it. It's called Rendering Visions. And now, full disclosure, I helped to work on this, helped produce it and put it together, but I'm here with the director. Also, full disclosure, the love of my life, Ashley Laurenson. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
This is a fun thing.
I know.
I get to interview you, my baby.
This is so fun.
I really want to encourage people to come out to this. Of course, we're selling tickets through Eventbrite for this event, but you put it together as director, kind of your brainchild. And, obviously, film takes a lot of people to put together anything. Tell me about it. It's your first time directing. Were you scared or excited to start?
I was definitely a very big mixture of both, I would say. Yeah. So the opportunity came up through TELUS Story Hive. So they very frequently will do essentially rounds of like filmmaking funding, up and coming local filmmakers to be able to create projects. And they specifically for their anniversary decided to do a documentary edition, but they wanted it to be hyper local stories about the community that the filmmakers were from. So this was right around the time Arts Council Wood Buffalo were starting to talk about the Arts Incubator project. And I thought, well, we could kind of follow along the steps as Arts Council were trying to create this project. So initially, I saw the thing come up. I walked straight into the Arts Council Wood Buffalo office, which was like across the hallway from my office at the time. And I was like, hey, this opportunity's come up. How would you feel about us making a documentary about Arts Inc.? It was, yes, absolutely, 100%, which was really exciting. It's the team who put it together, MacGuffin Media. We've worked with Arts Council a few times before, but I've never headed up one of these projects before, so I was really excited to kind of put on the director's hat. And I kept joking about wanting one of those like fancy chairs that says like my name on it.
Absolutely, yeah.
For on set.
Which we never did spend the money on.
No. Those chairs are crazy expensive, but it's been, oh my gosh, almost 3 years since we initially had that first conversation of what would it look like if we created a documentary.
And it was 2 years ago in early November that we shot the first footage for the documentary that eventually turned into the project that is going to see its world premiere this Thursday. And so it's an hour long, and as you said, it does follow the progress while we were filming of the Arts Inc. project, which is in the old defunct Landmark Cinemas 6, like downtown. That building that's just been sitting there is going to be turned into this arts campus. But we also were focusing on the artists of the region and what do they need, and is this going to fulfill that in some way or not, right?
It was kind of like this big thing is happening, but why was more so my question. So I wanted to talk to local artists here in town about what they need to be artists in Fort McMurray. I mean, our city, our town is so well known for industry and oil, and there are so many incredible visual artists, filmmakers, musicians, and dancers, and there's all of these people who are doing all of these things spread out all across the city. They don't really have like a place to all be to create together.
We found, much like the different neighborhoods of Fort McMurray and the geography are separated by distances, so too are the artists.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like, you have people who are like, well, I never go across the bridge if I don't have to, on either side of the bridge, which is so funny. But we ended up talking to, I think, almost a dozen different folks, whether they were specifically pursuing the arts as a full-time career, if it was something that was more part-time, or something they did as a hobby on the side. What do the artists need?
Yeah.
What kind of struggles are they facing as artists? We are very remote. We are quite cut off from a lot of things. There is not a lot of places to get supplies in the city. So those were kind of those questions that I wanted to ask. Speaking with some of the artists, it's like, Megan, like, what do you need for your needle felting business? Kim, how does being in a remote location inhibit your dancers from being able to dance in competition? Akshaya, you are an opera singer. like a
Fort
classical
McMurray,
opera singer
right?
in Fort McMurray. Like, what's next for you? What does that look like? So it's a huge passion project of mine. Obviously, I have an accent. I'm not originally from here. I moved to Fort McMurray almost 20 years ago with a plan to stay for 6 months because my dad got a job in the oil sands and he's like, well, I'm not leaving you behind in New Zealand. It's been almost 20 years and I still live here. And one of the biggest reasons for that is the arts in this town. And so I wanted to find out if other artists are here for the same kind of reasons as me. And you know, you mentioned the new Arts Inc. building is going to be in the old Landmark Cinemas. And one of the questions a lot of people asked throughout the documentary process was, why do you feel like you're the best person to be telling this story? And 2 of our team members used to work in that cinema when it was Mix Cinema 6, and you're one of them.
That was my just past high school job.
Yeah. And you know,
that was like just finishing high school, working at the 2 theaters at the time. Now one of them is Kiam Park.
Yes.
And the other one is turning into this Arts Inc. building. Yeah.
Exactly. And like you mentioned we were filming 2 years ago in November and it was so cold. One of the things that people will learn through the documentary is the building had a roofing issue. They didn't have the heat on in the building at the time.
2 winters, 2 summers with a broken roof leaking into one of the theaters.
And like, it's a question I get asked constantly by people. They're like, oh, you're like filming a documentary about that old building. Like, did you get to go inside? Yeah,
that's the first thing we did.
That was the first thing we did is we joked so many times. Like, how fun would it be to shoot like a horror movie in here?
I'll tell you, this is your interview. I'm talking to you, but I will tell you right now, that was an incredible trip for me. And I'm so glad to be able to share what that experience was like because it's now changed. They've worked on the project. The inside has been like prepped for renovation construction. So it's not in this state anymore. But when we did film there, it was like a post-apocalyptic, disgusting, destroyed, left as it was, posters still on the walls.
It was like
the marquee still said Bohemian Rhapsody.
It was like a scene out of The Walking Dead.
It was a frozen place in time, literally, because it was so cold they didn't have the heat on.
It was like the marquee still had Bohemian Rhapsody, Mowgli. I think The Last Nutcracker was one of the other ones, and like we're
bizarre.
Walking, so strange.
The pop machines were still like, I mean, they didn't have pop attached to the lines, but they're just sitting there. There's like, you know, like all the different labels of the different pops and how that system works is just still plugged into the wall.
And there's still like, you know, there's still signs on the wall, instructions for staff for like how to do stuff.
Candy counts in the stock room and stuff. Yeah.
Like a time warp. And it's been, I mean, even 2 years ago, it had been years and it still had that super fake popcorn butter smell. It's very upsetting.
That may still be there. That may still be there when they finish.
It's very upsetting that it still smells exactly like theater popcorn smells. Like, why?
That closed in 2019, to be clear.
Totally.
It stopped functioning as a theater in 2019. It is just left like that.
Yeah, that was
was anyway.
It was 2023 that we walked through there with the cameras.
4 years later.
Yeah. I mean, for that alone, if you're just curious,
it's
like
wild.
That was one of the questions I asked too, is why not just build new? Wouldn't it take so much more effort to repair one of these old buildings? But the Arts Inc. project has 6 specific spaces that they were looking to create: a culinary kitchen, a performing arts stage, makers studios, soundproof music studios, which I know there are a lot of musicians in this town who I'm sure listen to this radio station who are looking for soundproof music studios to create in, as well as market space and then like a flexible space for people to be able to use. So once I learned more about the project, I'm like, it's absolutely a no-brainer to take this existing building shell and like it will cost millions less than building new.
When you strip the cinema off of it, it is a concrete box of cinder blocks.
Yeah.
And therefore can be turned into whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. The plans that they have, a huge part of the film is also sitting down with Arts Council Wood Buffalo and being like, how's this going to work? Is it going to work? There's a lot of money that goes to sports and recreation in this town. And I'm not I'm in no way, shape, or form being like, oh, it shouldn't be that way. No, absolutely. There should be a huge pool of money that goes to sports and rec, but there should also be a pool of money that's going to arts. Like, I think that's kind of one of the things that came up a couple of times, is it's like we never want to take away from anything else that's happening. The thing is, Fort McMurray needs more.
Well, exactly, and it's just a disparate sort of amount of support, but still art being, and access to arts infrastructure being an essential thing. Also, we talk about kind of the idea of, and we talk about this in our personal lives so much too, is that what is an artist? Who identifies as an artist?
Yeah.
There are so many artists out there who don't even really call themselves an artist, and it's not because they don't want to. They're shying away from it. They don't want to be associated with that kind of business. It's not that. It's not like an aversion. It's more like, well, I don't think I'm a real artist. I just kind of create. I just play incredible songs on a guitar around the kitchen when my friends come over, right?
Yeah.
How are you not an artist, my friends? That is art. You're creating.
Oh, one time I painted a mural in my friend's garage.
Yeah.
That's art.
That's
or
art.
I sew clothes in my own time, or I make costumes for my kids every Halloween. That's artistry. That's fashion and design. There's so much in our lives that so many of the amazing things in our lives that we get to experience. Music, movies.
Oh.
I've always said there's a little artist inside each of us, whether it's cooking or making music or, dancing in your kitchen, even when you're just doing some cleaning or whatever is going on. Tiny little artist inside of us that gets so much joy out of creating or enjoying creation. And I think that's important.
And even in
too.
sharing. And for those who maybe don't feel like they're that's not me, I don't create. You still consume. Being able to bridge those gaps between whatever difference is between us through the shared experience of art, that's just a fantastic thing. And art can be, scary, run of the mill. It can be exciting. It can be kind of boring. Because it's all up to the interpretation and how people experience it, which is, there's as many different people in the world as there are ways to experience art, because everybody does it a little differently.
Yeah.
And so a lot to say that everybody is an artist. Everybody, though it might seem like it's a bit of a niche thing, I think there's a film for everybody in our community. It's a film about our community. It's an hour long, and it's premiering this Thursday.
And honestly, I could almost bet that out of all of the people who have ended up in this thing, there's so many people who are in this film. I'm I almost bet that you may know one of them, or you've seen them on the Keanu Theatre stage,
sure.
or you've seen them at Tavern on Main strumming away on a guitar.
Or we've had them right here on the show, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
All I wanted to do was celebrate how incredible these people are.
And how creative this place is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's astounding. It's staggering how creative this place is.
I am so excited to get some eyes on this project, and
take it home, sell us on the world premiere.
Yeah, totally. So the world premiere, it's happening at the Suncor Energy Center for the Performing Arts on Thursday, November 6th. We have a handful of local artists who are doing, I'm calling it mini artist alley, tiny little mini artist market before the show, before the doors open.
We're going to feature some of the artwork that was commissioned for or licensed for the use in the documentary.
Absolutely, yes. We were very, very, very honored to receive an Alberta Foundation for the Arts grant and Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo Arts, Culture and Heritage grant to be able to pay artists to create artworks it's why it's called rendering visions, is rendering their artwork into the film using visual effects and
really
all of these kind of things.
Cool ways, yeah.
Yeah, in super cool ways. So on top of the dozen artists that we interviewed, we had another dozen artists who helped us with music and photography and paintings and sculptures. And so some of those art pieces are going to be on display in the SECPA atrium before the show. And then, we'll
Q&A after the hour-long program.
We'll watch the movie, which will be about an hour. They might, a couple of speeches, things like that. And then, there's the opportunity to have a Q&A with me, you,
with the
and our
back.
friends from MacGuffin Media who created the program. I'm so excited. It's a collaboration with Arts Council Wood Buffalo as well. They're helping us out with getting this premiere off the ground. It's not easy to create art in the city, but the hope is that it's getting easier.
And that people will be able to come together and meet each other, which is a
Yeah.
huge thing. And I mean, so just to cards on the table it a little bit, like the documentary itself, not supported directly by Arts Council with Buffalo, though they are subjects in it, but they are helping us out with the world premiere, and with many thanks.
Yes,
So,
huge thanks. With them, it was kind of a funny conversation to be like, is this something you're interested in helping us out with? And they're like, yeah, I mean, we haven't seen the documentary, so which is hilarious.
And you won't until it's time to watch.
To watch it. But we dropped the trailer. We had a sneak peek play during the Buffies, which was a couple of weekends ago. So footage no one has ever seen before, even outside the trailer that we had released. There's a lot going on. Over on MacGuffin's Instagram and Facebook, you can kind of like see short little profiles of each of the artists and the type of things that they do in the community.
And get the link to buy those tickets and everything. Yeah,
totally. Links to buy tickets are all all online. Please come watch. Come and support your friends and your neighbors. One of the biggest things is I was like, I don't want it to cost much more than going to like a movie. So, tickets are $20 and change. If you're feeling bougie, you can get a VIP ticket and you'll get like a swag bag full of like a bunch of Rendering Visions merch, which, also goes to support our future filmmaking.
Which is, and just like, not to toot the horn even further, which I feel like this is what this whole conversation has been about. But just trying to spread the word. Again, created by local artists.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And so, I asked you, my love, my partner in real life, and my partner on making this. You're the director. I was producer along with everyone else from MacGuffin Media and all of the collaborators. But I endeavored to ask you to come on and chat with me for a couple minutes. But as you said, there's so much going on in this documentary. There's so much going on around the creation of it that we just recorded a podcast instead.
Practically,
which is fine by me.
It's ridiculous. There's I can't say, I know I've been talking for so long, but I can't say enough, and I can't say enough times how overwhelmed I was talking to these people and how every single step of the way throughout this documentary, I was inspired to create more. As an artist, I was blown away by how incredible the people in this town are for the creations that they create. Each of the pieces as they came in from the artist call commissions, there was one point where I was practically like in tears receiving these art pieces and just seeing how incredibly talented these people are. I don't even care about my part in the creation of this thing, because the most important part is to take the spotlight and shine it on these folks who are doing beautiful, incredible, amazing things in this town, and they deserve all of the recognition.
Whatever space they can find to do it.
Oh, people's basements,
jammed into tiny rooms where a piano doesn't even fit. Or,
they're trying to practice their music and collaborate with other people. It's wild, and it is time for Fort McMurray to see the talent and the beauty and the inspiration that comes from working together and creating something amazing. So you should come and watch the movie. I
creating something
would
that
love
lasts.
to see you there.
Yeah, it's so cool. And like you said, I'm sure you got so much from it. You're like a lot of wind in your sails from talking to all these people and seeing all this art. I do want to bring it back to you just for one last thing. As the director, as a first-time person, in that seat for this documentary, 3 years later, almost to the day, how does it feel getting ready for the world premiere? I mean, we can say days. It probably feels more like hours time.
Yeah. I feel like my body is set to vibrate. I'm
just moving.
Just like constantly, I'm completely overwhelmed, but just so honored that people were willing to share their stories with me. Honored that people came forward and trusted us with their art pieces. I'm completely in awe of the amount of talent in this region, and I just want as many people to see this film as possible, because I'm so honored to have created it.
Yeah.
And I just hope that it carries forward more inspiration, so more people start creating, and then they get more people to start creating, and it just turns into the snowball effect of beautifying our city and uplifting people's spirits and just having a beautiful time.
And like, not trying to change anybody's hearts or minds, but maybe just reveal why something like this would even be considered such a good idea and so necessary in our community. And if one person can go, wow, I didn't realize, that's a cool thing. That's a cool thing. So yeah, come on out. It's going to be a once of a kind, a really unique night out. Perfect for going with a buddy, a friend, or something. Good for the family. Like everybody can come out.
It's only an hour.
Yeah.
Like the film's only an hour. You don't have to stay for the Q&A.
Yeah.
Show up right at 7:30. Take your seat. Watch the show.
Yeah.
Head on out. It's going to be a great time. Learn some stuff about your community and, your neighbors and your friends.
Tickets are available right now. Eventbrite.ca. Just search Rendering Visions. You'll be able to find the world premiere right there. And tickets not even all that much money. So come on out. Ashley Laurenson, director of Rendering Visions. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Anytime.